Welcome back to the grid. I am Sark. As promised, we're going to approach some of these details. Hopefully our audio quality has improved. I don't know what these are supposed to be. Probably bolts or something. I like the idea that they might be like little channels for the air to move through. So I'm going to hide. I'm going to hide everything else. Hide this. Hide these. Don't need these right now. Just going to work on these little holes. So probably we don't even need our blueprints right now. But we'll stick with them for a little bit. Might help us line things up, maybe. So go to our object. I'm going to go back down below our symmetry modifier, below our open subdiv modifier. And should I go down below the shell? Yeah, probably, right? Because then I can put the shell after. Let's see if we can get away with that. I don't know if this is going to be a destructive modeling process, so it's worth a go. Really nothing to lose. I've got the project saved. Usually when I'm looking to make circular shapes, I try to either trace a perfect 8-sided cylinder, and the trick here is going to be, if I cut in a circle here, I'm going to end up with edges that are strange, right? So like, you just imagine that I cut this cylinder through here, and then once our object has some thickness, it's going to look really funny. And in the same regard, if I did that from the top view, and I cut it through like that, it's not really going to be lined up. So what I think I want to do maybe is actually set my cylinder for 8 sides, set it for 1 height segment, roll it this way. Now we can't use a boolean without being destructive to the work we've done up to this point. Looks like 42.5 degrees is about right. At least according to Duck Dodgers. Let's see. So I might be able to think about it in terms of this. Obviously, if I go ahead and boolean this, I'm going to get a big ugly mess. Shall I do it for the sake of argument? I wanted it to go in the other order. Just swap change operation. The order ops. Why can't I? Why can't it go the other way? Funny thing. I mean, it's not like I couldn't hack it off, but advanced options. I mean, it's no big deal. We don't have to use the pro boolean. Okay. Uh-oh. I was worried. I was gonna have to reload my file. Let's use just the basic boolean tool. I gotta read up on the pro boolean. Yep, there we go. How about a subtraction? Okay. I mean, what a mess I have. And then even if I stack in it, oh, I'm gonna have so much cleanup to do. No, unbelievable, unacceptable. No, 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 no. Okay, forget that. We still have all our stacks. That's still good. One thing I didn't point out last time is when I went into the second edit poly, it was important to add a couple of reinforcement edges here to keep the whole thing from being too round. Unless that's what you want. If you want a rounder shape, then leave them out. But these edges sort of give it that armored planing look that I was aiming for. Okay, so cylinder's not going to do the job for us, but I know the angle I want. So what if we turn on angle snap and we choose grid points and midpoints, and I go to create a shapes in 2D shapes, give myself an n-gon, a gun with end sides. Oh, not grid points, vertices. It's like these are not where I want them to be in the perspective view, right? So I know that this line that I put was roughly in the center. So I'm going to operate on that. And conveniently, that one looks like it's about the right size. But I'm going to turn on auto grid. Yeah. Let's go with that. So I'm going to turn my snaps off. It doesn't have to be truly perfect. I mean, it's kind of a warped thing to begin with. I just want it close. Why didn't it like me punching in the radius? 0.5. You know, that looks like it could be it. It's really funny looking from this angle, but I know it's about right. So this is one of those times you just have to trust your eyeballs a little bit. I'm going to put one on each side. I'm going to put one here and one here-ish. It's really kind of a tricky mess. Maybe I should have could have cut these out before I shelled it and added all these curves and stuff, but at some point you're going to run into adding some details to something that doesn't really... Oh, these are to be 8-sided, by the way. That'll help make them nice and round when we turbo smooth them. Yeah, I could go with something like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of trace these, and that means I'm going to turn my blueprints off. They stop bothering me. So I stop having to think about them. Just like a third world dictator, you know? You don't want to see the poor and, you know, starving people. You just send them away to a camp somewhere, and then you don't have to think about them. Okay. I'm going to send my blueprints away to the gulag with them. Now I can live in my blissfully ignorant world. I'm going to get my cut tool. Oh, yeah, back all the way down below the shell, I think. And we're going to turn our snaps back on. But we're going to turn off the midpoint snaps. We're just going to keep these vertex snaps. try and just trace out each circle. I'm not worried about fixing the topology yet. I just want to get my circles in there. We can figure out the topology afterwards. So I just right click when I'm finished, move on to the next one. Try and be looking at it. It's really important if you're tracing these in the perspective view. An example, I do not want to trace it like this. That is not going to work. It is not going to yield the same result. It puts a circle there, right? It's not under where my circle is, and there's no guarantee that it's even a circle. I'm pretty sure I could get an oval out of it if I really tried. So try and get yourself perpendicular to it. Why am I... There we go. My middle click was rotating without the Alt key. Okay. Maybe I had the Alt key selected and I just didn't feel like I did. It was actually my push to talk key. Okay. What a little mess I've made there. Let's try this once more. I can get that. If I'm lucky, I can get that like right on there. And then I won't have to target weld it later. But it would be the end of the world. Okay, so let's just pretend that we believe that those are perfectly round. Because at the distance that these details are going to be from, they might as well be. Okay, even here you can't even see hardly that they have octagons. It's like, that's a circle, right? Okay. So, let's think about how this do. What was that edit poly doing for me? I think that's all it's doing is that one reinforcement edge, so I think maybe we get away with this. Turn off our snap. Delete these. Okay. So we know that a reckoning is coming with the cut tool. First I want to check and make sure that there's actually only one vertex here. There is. So that makes me happy. Second, this is an easy target weld. Only one vertex there. And you can see that already our geometry is beginning to protest. So it is time to get out our cut tool and see if we can find a way to tie off all these edges. Well, one will go there. This one doesn't mind going to the corner. I mean, it might protest a little, but with 2 iterations of subdivision. Ooh. Now these may be unhappy that they don't have a flow connect. And that's going to move our... You know what has to happen? These have to get cut in after a little bit of set flow is done, I think. What if I just grab this one? Good enough. Good enough. Oh, what a sluggard I am. Well, that's gonna shave 5 minutes off this video. You guys don't want to see me redo all that. Okay. Yeah. Good enough. Cool. And for these other bits, actually probably something similar. Let's put the edges in now and do our set flow ahead, because we know what we're in for, right? So that's the thing with 3D is like, or anything that sort of involves thinking ahead, is it's okay to make mistakes and sort of plow on through, but it's important to learn your lessons and not repeat those mistakes. Why you know set flow? I was so nice to you. Set flow. Yes. Okay. So that's just going to help us keep that curve nice. And I'm going to cut. So maybe this goes here. This goes all the way up there, and that'll be okay. This is going to go all the way up there. It'll be alright. This can go right on through. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be alright. See bugs here. Okay. I just got to figure out what to do with this guy. I mean, I could tie it all the way to the top. It'll be fine. If there was some reason we could find some other place to tie it off to, it wouldn't be so bad. But that'd be fine. Well, let's see if our shell wants to take. Okay, our shell cooperates, so that's a really good. Our edit poly wants to cooperate. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Right, that was a destructive process, and just for the sake of our sanity, let's just kill those. We can keep the shell, but we're going to go ahead and add another edit poly. So that'll be just a couple of swift loops. We could be more precise. So rather than swift loops, we'll do a ring. We'll open the settings in the connect tool. Oh, I've got because I reinstalled the operating system and all the software. I'm back to these caddies, which I like, but I don't like when I'm trying to cast because I get jumpy with the mouse and I move off the caddy and then it doesn't remember. So I'm going to go to Customize Preferences and I'm going to press this button, disable the caddy controls. So now, it's a little clunkier, but you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to do 2 segments and we're going to pinch them apart from one another. 75 is pretty strong. We'll go with that. I think much more would be kind of extreme. Grab these. Remember, those are percentages, so sometimes 95 is the right number, sometimes 40 is the right number. It really depends. We're going to do a ring. There it is. Wonder what their hotkey is for that. I don't have a hotkey set up. I guess default there's no hotkey for ring and loop. That's... Well, I said I was going to not do any custom stuff, so... There we go. And... let's put our open subdiv. Okay, pretty good. Like a little goopy in and around these, so we could probably just plunk in some bevels to fix those up, but they are, even though the geometry around them looks a little distorted, they're pretty round. A little funny there. So see what we can do about that. I think I might just be able to chamfer these. And might as well do the bottoms too. So I'm just holding my control key, grabbing one of the, not the one next to it, the one right below it. There you go, the bottom edge. All right. Hit loop. Zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to do a very small chamfer. I hit Z when I want to center my zoom on something, and that can kind of keep it from like where I'm jumping the camera all the way through. Yeah. Okay. So let's open our chamfer tool. I'm going to do a standard chamfer. We don't want the quad chamfer. Oh, we want a much, much smaller amount, like 0.1. See, even that's too big. It's like wiping out the other details we've done. 0.05, 0.01. 0.01 looks really, really good. We could even go down to 0.005. I think we have the fidelity for it. But I think 0.01 should yield us a really, really clean result. We still have a little wonkiness there. So that comes from the way I tied my edges off. If I had sort of like built places for these to tie into, sort of a layer back, it might be cleaner. What if I just tried dropping some? Oh, see, this one doesn't even want to. Oh, cause yeah, right. So that's kind of a mess. Let's see if it'll. So this doesn't want to roll that way. Let's see if that was enough. So this one's, strangely enough, this one's kind of okay. And this one over here just has this odd dip. So if anybody has a trick to fix that, I'm sure I could watch some of Aramis tutorials and figure that one out. But it's not awful. I might wonder what happens if I just pull this in. Now, it's really important that I constrain the face at this stage. Oh. Oh, I did not do those loops on the bottom. You know what? For today, that's sufficient. It is obviously not sufficient if it's your model. I'm probably going to end up going back and redoing this yet again on my own time, but I don't feel like I want to take up any of more of your time doing these edits. What I really need to do is go back and make sure that I've got enough sort of mesh density around here to handle some of these details rather than having to tie things off at great distances. Now I've got a crease I didn't want. It's this one. This one wasn't really doing a lot for me anyway, so hold the control when you remove. Okay, get rid of the, mostly rid of the crease. So, I mean, a lot of this, on the other hand, there's a different argument to be made, which is that this is a heck of a lot of fussing. Okay. So maybe let's see. Select all this and hide unselected. Now at this scale, the wonkiness of that particular angle on the circle is not really mattering. And so maybe that trick's enough for you today. Anyway, good luck modeling your details. Try and clean up your edge topology and think about your edge topology ahead. It doesn't hurt to go back and redo the same piece a couple times. You're going to get better results each time. You're going to learn from your mistakes. All right. Good luck. Have fun.